Hello! Hello. And hello.
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 Hello. How are we doing? I know we've just been talking, but
I think this is a mood.
this hang on, I can show the mood. There is a mood. There are many moods.
Puddle cat.
Puddle cat. That's the mood of Ragdoll's laptop. Just slowly melting. There may be some technical difficulties today, but that's fine.
It's fine, I would say.
What would streaming be without technical difficulties? Can't even say it. My mouth is undergoing technical difficulties.
And some of them are just annoying, and then some of them lead to hilarity. I was watching a streamer the other day who was streaming with a friend of hers, and one of them said something very silly in a lull in the sound. It was like, I need someone to clip that now. And so of course the chat decided to clip it, much to the aghast statements of their friends, like, no, don't. And the streamer was like, haha, I now have it. I'm going to put it into a little sound bite and troll you with it. The only problem was when they opened up audio editor software that they had to get the audio clip off of the Twitch clip, it fucked up all of their audio drivers, and they just started sounding like a chipmunk.
Oh,
Amazing.
wonderful.
And then all of their audio drivers just crashed in OBS. And so all of the friends were like, yeah, well, we can hear her. You can't hear her. So we're just going to keep going as she tries to fix this.
Audio drivers are, frankly, a mystery. I don't know how they work.
I haven't figured out how to make my webcam with a microphone use that microphone.
That's even more of a problem. That's a double driver problem. Twice the drivers, twice the fun. / issues.
Yay.
So yeah, Chippy's not here today, but I've drawn a cat in their honor. It was meant to be teal, but it just went with green apparently. I'm bad with colour. Who'd have thought? Yeah, we're gonna do some wiki stuff today because we haven't done it for a while. Yeah. And since there's only 3 of us, should be easy to keep track of who's doing what. So I won't need a rota, fingers crossed. What wikis do we have?
I have Lord of the Rings.
Oh. That's a good one.
Oh my.
In fact, I think it was on my list, so I can cross that one off. Yeah.
So the wiki I have is Hades.
Hades.
Like indie game. Very, very. And again, since the wiki has things in categories, I'm going to be pulling from the enemies section of the wiki.
Fair enough.
Partially because all of the characters are just Greek myth things. So it's like, oh, draw Dionysus. Well,
I mean, to be fair, there's part of a chance that you'll get the same thing from my wiki actually, because my wiki is Red Dwarf, which on the face of it sounds a bit of a strange connection, given that Red Dwarf is a science fiction sitcom. But the writers of Red Dwarf tend to like borrowing ideas from mythology to make strange creatures or deranged robots. So you may see, sirens or Asclepius or what have you.
Nice.
Or you might see something completely unrelated. And I'll give you a choice as to whether or not we can go for characters or enemies, as it says in here. Villains, I would have put, but they went with enemies. Yeah. So bear in mind, BBC sci-fi sitcom, probably quite low budget. Might not even have any good pictures of the thing that I'm asking you to draw. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, I hope for bad pictures.
But there is some great stuff in
I
the
just-
series. So.
It can't be any worse than sitting here going, "Hey, we've rebooted this old franchise and we've blown our entire budget getting a hold of a license to play Toxic by Britney."
Well,
One's
you
that.
know.
That was New Who. The first episode of New Who did a thing where it's like, we're seeing we've traveled to a time frame where the Earth is legitimately like the Earth as a globe is empty. Everyone left a long time ago, but the sun is now going supernova, and this old empty planet is getting absorbed, and now it's just got this ceremony going on. And to celebrate Earthlings, we're going to play some old classic Earth tunes. Turn on the jukebox. It's Toxic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They had enough budget left
love
over. They had enough budget left over in that episode to make a villain who's a trampoline. So that's cool. Yeah, let's get cracking. Why not? Who wants to go first? I'll go first then. Always try and foist it upon you by leaving a pause and being the one who asks the question. So it's only fair that occasionally I go first. I will take something from Lord of the Rings. Why not?
Okay. You got Eeyore.
Eeyore.
It's E and an O with the dots over and an L.
Okay. Eeyore.
A good old Oolong.
Yule, always called the Dark Elf, was an elf of Lord of the Rings word. And
See, it's
middle
always interesting with
thingy
stuff like
majig.
this because the author of Lord of the Rings was a linguist, and
Yeah.
throughout all of his world building, it's like, let's just info dump my interest in linguists all over this, and it's making everyone nuts.
For a non-native speaker, it's a bit of a challenge. It worked in my head, but having to say it is another matter. I'm just gonna spell it, guys. METALLURGIST. A high skill.
Oh, a metallurgic. Okay. Someone who does metallurgy.
I was gonna pronounce it that way, but I felt stupid.
Okay, so he's got like a hammer, I guess.
A great smith and friend of the dwarves.
Oh, it was the elf dwarf. Dwelf.
Egil devised Galvan, a black metal of great strength and malleability, which he fashioned into armor that he wore when going abroad. He forged 2 great black swords from a meteorite's metal, but had to give the sword and glacial to Thingol as tribute for living in Nan Ilmoth. The other sword he kept for himself. He's a badass sword elf.
Okay, I have a stupid idea.
Yay! I love stupid ideas.
Oh, I'm gonna imagine the sword's quite long.
Wow, you're starting strong.
I'm gonna say he also made a shield. For reasons.
Shield reasons.
Shield reasons.
I mean, you might as well.
I mean, if you got the middle.
Although a lot of shields weren't usually solid metal. Most of the time it was wood with metal
There we
on
go.
the outsides and insides.
Wait. That's fine.
He's an elven metallurgist.
Okay, let's try and go with details. Now, we got the basic. Oh, that's how you rotate, not how you zoom. Ah. Okay, so. Anything else that I know about his personality, or?
Do elves have personality?
Ouch.
Well, in Lord of the Rings, anyway. Let me just skim on through.
Well, yeah, there is
A very surprised elf.
There's a reason he's surprised, and it's a very stupid reason. If you can guess the reason.
He turned into a bad person.
That's why he's surprised.
Well, you've given him a rounded ear, so I'm sure he's at least a little surprised about that.
Yeah, sorry. Forgot about elves. Elves have pointy ears.
Hey, miss!
He
Ah!
apparently tried to kill his own son.
Standard
As you
for
do.
As you do.
fantasy.
Hey, miss.
Hey there, miss!
I keep having to refresh because I'm on the iPad and I'm going to another window to see the wiki and back again, so I have to reload, and this whole face just appeared, and it's amazing.
He's just, oh!
Woo!
Yes, I have an ethos behind this design, and it is an incredibly stupid ethos. Doing fine. Ellipse is fine. No, that's rotate. I'll stop it.
It's so great that every program is different.
To be fair, like I hold down Alt and space usually to rotate in Clip Studio or what have you. But Control and space works just as well, and that's what's sorry to zoom. That's what I use. And they use the Control space here, but both work in Clip Studio, so I end up using the quote wrong one normally, the one that this doesn't use. So technically, no one's wrong. I'm just used to the alternative, I guess.
Did Photoshop use that then?
A keyboard short cute. It is cute. Either way, I'm going to blame Adobe. They're not involved in this. I'm just going to blame them. Because everyone should blame
No, I mean,
Adobe.
it doesn't help that with a lot of those you can change some of the shortcuts or bind them to some other keys as well.
Yeah, I try to avoid that if it's all possible. Because it just ends up causing more complications later down the line. Like, oh, I'm used to these shortcuts, so I'll go into my new thing and I'll rebind them all to what I'm used to. And then you end up with, like, you know, paste is Control P because that's what you were used to, but paste in place is now Control Shift V, and that's nothing like Control P, and you get very confused.
Yeah.
Just listening to it.
I'm teaching a computer class this semester, and without fail, some of the students will be using MacBooks and doing their work on MacBooks, and it's like, okay, what's the button shortcuts on the MacBooks? I need to go look this up because I don't run a Mac.
MacBooks should be banned.
Annoyingly, when I was at uni and I was teaching students how to use LaTeX, there's lots of different LaTeX editors. LaTeX typesetting thing for maths and science. By far, the best one was on Mac. It was just the easiest to use. It had the best features. It was great. So that's what I ended up using, even though I learned on the Windows ones. Like I said, there's loads of editors, and it's mostly personal preference, but I just always found that rather strange that the best one was on Mac.
Yeah, that's odd to me too, especially since considering what LaTeX gets generally used for.
Isn't Max like the usual one to use for Photoshop and stuff?
It was once upon a time. Macs were like this is the multimedia platform. If you want to be doing visual stuff or audio stuff or what have you, then you're a creative, get a Mac. But slowly over time, that's dissipated as Macs have gotten more expensive and Windows have gotten better. Such is market complacency.
I mean, Apple's always gonna sell stuff anyway, just for the prestige.
Well, eventually, a fan base will be lost. Is it like chainmail or something?
I love how skinny he is.
Elves are skinny, right?
Hmm.
I wanted to kind of.
He's just a sentient twig.
Yeah.
Elf mantis.
Hence the name. It's like Eeyore. So it's like poo sticks.
Non-native English speaker over here.
There's Winnie the Pooh. It's fine.
Oh. Does look fancy.
With his fancy armor.
Wait, does he have a goatee?
I thought he'd have a little beardy sort of thing because he's friends with the dwarves, and he'd feel a bit left out if he didn't have some sort of beard. But I can't imagine elves can grow fantastic beards.
So he's got the very thin mustache and the very tiny goatee.
Yeah. He's got the adolescent's my first facial hair pack. Only that's just as far as elves can go.
What? Oh, okay. I think I see what's going on. That's just a weird thumb placement.
Yeah, the hand's sort of
thickness.
pointing backwards. Yeah.
Impressive.
Theoretically works. There's a bit of a strain on the wrist, I can imagine, but there's a reason for it. And the reason is extremely stupid, which is that when I first saw the name Eol, I like the O with an umlaut because it looks like a face going oh, and I thought, can I make the person look like their name? So this is my attempt at writing
Oh my god!
Hell.
Wow.
Oh dear.
There's a lot of fudging required to get to that point. Cancels, Chris. That's fair.
That's why you made the shield like that.
Oh, hang on, black metal. Yeah. That was the bit that was the hardest. How do you get an E into a design? It's a tricky shape to naturally arise. The answer is fudge it.
That you can do this in a couple of minutes is ridiculous.
Practice.
Such is the nature of doing webcomics and stuff. You learn to do a half-assed job really quickly.
And make shapes out of things that shouldn't be shapes.
Yeah, that's just fun. I guess I get that from sort of messing around with ideas like dwarfy challenges and stuff. Back in the day.
That wasn't necessary of you, but you have my thanks.
Oh, Laurent Sketches? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Thank you very much for the follow. That's very kind. Might be Laurent. I'd say Laurent because it's pretty sure I recognise that name from the world of maths. But you nailed it. Fantastic. Laurent polynomials and such. Yeah. It is a bit of a weird hand, isn't it? Anyway, enough of this. This is Eol. Eol.
That's beer in Danish. Does look like a beer keg.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a sort of, I've just cut a barrel into sections and started using it as a shield, but hey, we're looking for a build
whatever
that's looking great.
works.
Cool. Hope you have a good
I
time.
like eel.
Eel. Is there a picture
Although
of eel?
I'm sure if he starts going around cutting barrels into bits, he's going to make someone mad, considering how much work goes into making a good barrel.
Oh, is that a little mushroom? Ooh, that's very cute. Ooh. Oh, this isn't a happy fellow at all. He doesn't look surprised in the slightest.
It's goth elf.
Yeah, it's a very goth elf. Being all dramatic and moody.
Yeah, it's teen elf.
with his black sword made out of a meteorite.
Yeah, we both went for like teen elf, but Tolkien went for the angst and I went for the facial hair.
Yours is way more fun.
I try. I mean, like, you know, Tolkien's world building is detailed and interesting, and a lot of people can get very sort of in deep with it. But there's not a lot of fun in it.
Yeah, no.
It's a bit more fun.
See, I'm just thinking that one of these is the image of how the angsty teen sees themselves, and then the other one is how everyone else sees the angsty teen.
Yeah. Yes. Aww.
It's like, I'm this dark, mysterious friend of the dwarves, metallurger who makes swords out of meteorites, and then everyone's just kind of like, he hasn't grown into his legs yet, and he's still trying to grow a beard.
Yeah, just let him do his thing. Oh, I like that. I like this dude.
Shiny blade.
It's endearing.
Fantastic. There we are. That's right. Let's go forwards. So, Ragdoll, would you like a character or an enemy from Red Dwarf?
Let's go for an enemy.
Enemy? Can do. Go. Okay, sure. You have, it's quite a new one, actually. This is only a few years ago. You have Hoagie the Rogie.
Hoagie the Rogie.
Hoagie the Rogie is a rogue droid, who are usually psychotic in some regard, basically bent on trying to make sure everything organic dies.
Lovely.
But this one's a little bit more comical. He has a comb over for a start. I don't know why. Big moustache. He's a bit incompetent. Bless him. Yeah, incompetent, lovable psychopath robot. Hoagie the Rogie.
Lovable psychopath.
Well, I mean, you said droid, so having one of the first sci-fi things I've ever watched as a kid be Star Wars. You say droid, my first thought is just just a little R2-D2.
You go with it.
I love to see the mustache on that friend.
I'm gonna make him bigger so that I can cut better details on him.
Oh, it looks like a face, those 3 lines.
With a big old nose.
Make up the...
Under noteworthy dialogue, we have lines such as, "I'm clever as a hedgehog."
Damn it? What? Is that a thing somewhere I don't know of?
I don't think so, no. Yeah, this character is just at the beginning of an episode. I can't even remember where the episode goes.
Yeah, hedgehogs aren't really known for being particularly clever.
Oh, Miss disagrees.
Oh.
Miss says hedgehogs are very clever. They taught a generation of kids how to cross the road. Very true.
Sure.
I'm assuming this is in reference to some sort of UK
Yeah.
children's show that I'm not familiar with.
They just had an advert of like a couple of hedgehogs teaching road safety. It was very cute.
And also kind of morbid with all of the hedgehogs.
Any particular reason why the hedgehogs?
Hedgehogs don't fare well on roads traditionally.
No.
So it's like armadillos over here.
Oh, really?
Probably.
I don't know if you guys are. So armadillos are little. They're known for like rolling up into a ball.
Yeah.
Type thing.
I know it from a personal group.
The thing is, though, armadillos' main predators in the wild are like mountain lions or whatnot, which usually pounce at them sort of forward. So armadillos have evolved the reflex to, when there is something that is sort of threatening to them, they jump, which is very useful if you've got something that's pouncing at you sort of from the side.
Yeah.
It's, however, not useful for you if you've got something that's driving above your head.
Yes.
So what happens a lot of the time is an armadillo will be on the road. A car will drive over them thinking, oh, I will miss the armadillo entirely. It'll fit underneath the carriage. The armadillo will jump and hit the car.
That's so sad.
Yep.
There should be PSAs about don't drive over the armadillo.
PSAs to armadillos of like, this is how you deal with it when a car is coming towards you. You feel like you're going to want to jump. Just stay where you are.
I'm gonna be fine. Oh, look at this mustache.
I'm trying to remember the song that was on those hedgehog adverts. And part of me doesn't want to remember it because I think it was really catchy. But part of me is annoyed that I can't remember it.
You're gonna Google it later.
Almost certainly, yeah. It wasn't that long ago that I was reminded of it. It's been a while.
A couple of years ago, I had a hedgehog walk into my house at night because it was hot and I had the door open. And all of a sudden, it kind of realized what it had done, I think. And got real scared and curled into a ball in the corner.
Oh, bless.
But up until we noticed each other, it was just hanging out.
Yeah. I had a similar thing yesterday, but it wasn't a hedgehog. It was, sorry, miss, big old spider.
Oh, that's not similar at all.
No, just packed up after doing the RPG times. Walked across my room and went, what's that on the floor? Oh. Did you burn your house down? No, I just about escorted it out of my room. It was almost too big for the implements I usually use.
Oh, God. How is that similar, actually?
Because it was just like, oh, we were both coexisting in the room. It's been in the room a while, evidently. I hadn't had the windows open all the way through the RPG, so it must have been here while we were doing that. It's just gonna burn the place down. I literally, there's a speed running thing going on Twitch at the moment called Bad Games. No, what was it? BBG? Big Bad Gameathon. That's it. Which is speed running terrible games. I recommend it. It's a good time. And yeah, I literally just before this they were playing a game called Kill It With Fire, which is about being a spider exterminator and just like trying to deal with spiders, and you just usually end up burning the house down. So
that's therapy right there.
That's pretty funny.
I do like. I'm now looking.
I'm just used to these sorts of things, considering where I live and how often I go camping. One of the things we always have to tell the new campers is when you wake up in the morning, shake out your shoes.
Oh.
Because there might be a scorpion in it.
And they don't like being stepped on.
No.
I'm
But
happy.
they do like small, warm, vaguely damp places, like your
Nah.
shoes.
They're just trying to get comfy.
Yeah, and then you had to go stick your toes in their face.
Time to move. Oh, big old spider, time to leave. I'm emigrating. See ya. Now, I used to be terrified of spiders, but slow exposure to the fact that I had to continually escort them out of the house with decreasingly trembling hands. That's why you don't
get
go
used to it after a
camping.
while.
I'm
That's fair.
scared if I'm tired. Like, the later at night it is, the less sleep I've gotten, the more terrified I get.
That's fair.
See, I'm the opposite. The more tired I am, the less fucks I give.
That's useful.
All right, so here we go. Here's our little droid
It's a
with a
little,
bad comb over
I like.
and a huge mustache.
Has he got a little like sort of chest window to sort of just quickly flash someone?
I was thinking like a little compartment, like you open it up and it's got like, I don't know, leftover cheese in it or something.
Like the idea just opens and like wires, sparks come out. Get it? Flash. Anyway, yeah, that's a cute little hoagie. Here is. There's the hedgehogs. King of the road. That's what it was. Yeah, King of the road.
Oh,
There we are. Hoagie
He's
the
having a
Rogie.
day.
Get it so we can see it both at the same time. Hoagie the Rogie. I should specify that this show is set 3 million years in the future, and basically everything's gone. So anything that's left is a bit rough and ready.
shiny shoulders though.
Shiny shoulders. Also, again, low budget BBC sitcom.
In space.
In space. I feel like these two
like
would be
it a lot.
friends. I can imagine these two traveling around the universe causing trouble.
Yeah.
Yep. This is definitely the face of a mischief maker.
Marvel. Righto. And finally, Christi,
Yeah.
you can have something from Hades.
I'm gonna do terrible.
All right. Let's see.
There's a Hades nuts. There's a joke like that in there somewhere. I'm not sure I'm really.
There probably is. I'm probably not going to make it. Okay. So
The robot does have
all
a
of
comb
the characters and enemies and most of the items in Hades have codex entries where one of the characters has basically like written down information about them, like within universe. So I'm going to read the codex entry. So you have the Satyr cultist.
Ooh.
Satyr cultist.
Yes, Satyr cultist. A multitude of worries decorate the brow of grim Lord Hades, whose nature is unknown to anyone but him. But there are some concerns that even he cannot suppress. Take, for example, the dark movements of the Satyr vermin worshippers residing in the temple gateway at the surface of this realm. What they must want is yet unclear, but their hatred for Lord Hades is not. Efforts to exterminate the goat-faced fiends have proven unsuccessful to this point, for they reside frustratingly even beyond the master's influence. What can they do in turn except to desecrate the master's halls? Yet if the master is uneasy, there must be a cause.
Damn.
So I heard vermin worshippers, and now all I can think of is that they have like a rat god.
You are not wrong.
Oh, okay.
A rat satyr?
Accidentally right. That's the best kind of right.
Yeah,
Little
so
goatsies.
the Satyr cultists are enemies in the final area in the Hades game. They are annoying as fuck. Partially because they shoot these poison blow darts at you, which inflicts damage on you continuously until you cure yourself using a spring thing.
That seems delightful.
I
Yes.
am making it cute.
Yes.
Cause mouse.
Mrs. Fallen in Love, just by description. Now you need to make a goat cult, a satyr cultist OC, and put them with your little collection, your little OC collection, which may or may not now include Fritz Sonic.
It's
I like the little feetsies you've given him.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whoops.
Fritz, baby boy. He was described as such in the RPG actually. Dark's character was like, "How old are you? Like 12?"
I mean, there's plenty of heroes out there who are apparently like 10 or 12, so.
No. Fritz insists he's older. It's not 12. You had this wonderful sort of arsehole off between Dark's character and Fritz. These two sort of unbearably just unbearable characters talking to each other. Don't know how old he is, but he looks older than 12. Yeah, in my head during the session, I was reminded of a game called Void Bastards, and I was like, that's how I would describe these characters.
Oh, I'm glad you all had fun.
Yeah.
And it's always very amusing when there's some characters who are very obviously butting heads.
Oh, my favorite dynamic is Dark's character, who's just like an unassailable, big-headed egotist, and Oobs' character, who's just doesn't give a damn about anyone else and just like has no time or respect for any kind of authority. And so you've got Dark's character sort of monologuing and sort of loving the sound of his own voice, and meanwhile Oobs' character has already left. It's just, I don't know, they're great together, by which I mean apart. It's good fun. And then you got Christi and me, who were just sort of sitting in a corner going, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, you've given it a
No,
rat
thanks.
face.
Yeah. Rat goat.
It's a goat rat.
Rote cat. Neither of those work really. Groat.
Groot.
Gonna go with Groat. It's like you came
See,
up
that
with
sounds too much like grout to me, and that's something totally different.
That's all right. I thought it sounded too much like Scroat. So I am Groot. Yeah, no, my RPG, my character's first experience in the RPG has been not one of success. He's basically the only thing he succeeded in doing is finding out people's names when no one else cared. Unsuccessfully, misdiagnosed a blatant stab wound to the back. And also just tripped over himself and got a head wound. So it's going well.
Whoops.
This is one tilting boy.
He's up for some mischief. Look at him.
I think both of our characters are up to some mischief,
Yeah.
but for very different reasons.
Isn't there a rotatey thingy-majiggy?
I think if you can transform, get the transform tool, select things, and then rotate from there. I think.
Yeah, you can also flip stuff that way, but you have to be careful.
I think I'm not clever enough to figure this out.
It's fine.
Absolutely bananas. So I think I'm
Yeah.
done.
Poor dog. Dog wants attention.
Yeah. Every time I'm drawing, funnily enough.
Dog takes offense to satyr cultist.
Yes. Well, understandably.
You said
Yeah,
that.
they are a time.
They mainly take offense because they worship the rat, and worshipping the rat means you're not petting the dog.
Why not both?
Because the rat is terrifying. The first time I saw it, I went, oh. And then I went, oh.
That sounds
And then I went,
lovely.
oh no. And I was dashing around more or less just screaming, trying to kill it. Okay, so are we... Do we want to see the satyr cultist?
Yes.
Satyr cultist.
That is the satyr
Oh.
cultist. You will notice it has like a rat crown thing. Yeah, so the Temple of Styx is a little different from some of the areas in Hades. You get to pick what areas you go into, which means depending on what rooms you pick, you may or may not ever run into a mid-boss. It might just be random enemies like the satyr cultists or the copious amounts of rats that live up there that are also oozing poison. It's lovely. But every so often in one of the mid-boss rooms, you will run into a boss called the King Vermin. The King Vermin is a very tiny rat that scuttles all over the place and screams and summons more enemies. And then it just sort of runs around and attacks you as it's screaming. And it was very surprising the first time I ran into it, and I hate it.
It's like
that little screaming rat.
Yeah, a little screaming rat.
Amazing.
Speedrunners hate it too.
That's
I have
eminently fair.
questions about this red head.
It took me a while to work out where the face was. I can see
Does
it
it
now.
have green glasses and green goop on its cheek?
No, they're the eyes of the rats that are on top of the head. The head is sort of looking down to its sort of down
that's not
right.
eyes, that's ears.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, it's got 3 little rats on top of its head. And then it shoots blow darts at you.
I wasn't expecting the massive beard, must be said.
Yeah.
Big old owl
I didn't
beard.
expect a braid.
Yep.
Also, flute. Lovely to see. Well, there we go.
Ah, such lean. Oh my god. My leaning boy.
He's just...
It kind of looks a little bit paralyzed, like it's just about to fall over. I'm gonna fight you. Marvelous. Right. Let's go once round again. Only with the other thing, which means I guess I'm gonna have to get a prompt from Hades again. So 2 Hadeses in a row. Hades.
All right. So rolling through. Oh, Chris, you get a mini boss.
Ooh.
You get the Doomstone.
Okay.
Draw a rock.
So desperate are some souls to escape the realm of the dead that they plunge into the mists of Erebus even before their sentencing. Having thus been lost, they are never officially registered or heard from again. But there is no escape from death even for such souls. They probably become part of the fabric of this place. How else to explain some of the phenomena in Tartarus? Crystalline formations reverberating as if in agony. A few are appalling in size, as though all lost souls found each other in the end. So in Hades, you go from the bottom to the top. So you start in Tartarus, which, for those of you who are not familiar with Greek myth, Tartarus is where you put all the really bad people. And the Doomstone is a mini boss that you can find in Tartarus. And basically, it's a bunch of souls shooting laser beams at you.
So no stones.
Well,
It is now.
they're in a stones.
This is a Pokemon.
Not for long.
It sounds like a Pokemon.
Draw a crowd of people, lots of hands, lots of anatomy. Oh, miss. You're just trying to make Chris's life more difficult.
Oh, don't worry. I'm making it difficult enough for myself. You haven't seen what's in my head yet.
Is it Eeyore again?
It's not eel, no. Okay.
What are you spelling this time?
I'm not spelling anything.
Okay.
Taking a well-established concept and having to do it by hand. That's what I'm doing.
This uncultured ass probably won't recognize it anyways.
It's a fairly recognizable. It's been used quite a lot. It's not original. I don't know its origin. Might be biblical. Or
I mean, a
perhaps
lot of things
Abrahamic at the
in
very least.
Western culture, if you're not quite sure what the reference is, it might be biblical.
Yeah.
You said crystals, so it's sort of surrounded by crystals and such.
Again, very Pokemon-like.
Yeah, this is just Regice, but wrong.
It's gonna have something in common with Regice.
Is it going to be its very strange voice acting?
Voice acting?
Oh, I need to show you a clip of Regice in the anime, don't I?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, right. The butt crystal.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that is.
I had to Google it.
Yeah, we were talking about that before, weren't we?
So all of the Pokemon in the anime have interesting voice acting. Let me see if I can find a good clip.
Sometimes
This might play.
crystals are more latticey. I'm just putting off.
Oh my god.
Putting off the inevitable. Yeah.
Well, that has some of it in there, so I'm just gonna stick this in the Discord. For people to listen to the insanity that is the 3 Reggies
I look forward to it.
in English.
3 Reggies. That's like a terrible comedy troupe.
Yep. How bad is this thing you're going to draw if
It's
draw crystals as
not
a delay?
It's not bad. It's just time consuming, as are most of the things that I do. It's just some stalactites. That's the one. For the purposes of perspective, so we know that we're looking up at something big. Perspective is
Also looks like a godly glow.
right. So let's go with
It does give off the feeling of doom, so you know that's good.
I was thinking the Mr. Bean beam of light going. Oh, oh yeah. Now it's doom. Now it's Halloween. Mm-hmm.
I've got that, and then we've also got
Are these other faces?
yeah. Go with the kind of many faces embedded in the thing. You said lots of souls, so
Yep.
It's a sit crystal.
talk amongst
It's
yourselves.
horrifying.
Is that?
This is horrifying, but also actually really cool. Like, I kind of want this to be used in something now.
It is. Welcome to Hades 2, made just by me. It has no gameplay. It's just a picture of this and the sounds of screaming. Let's see if we can work this out.
Well, if you select those, copy them, and you can, just move them around and paste them.
And okay, so I could sort of do that. Can I?
What?
Yeah, that sort of works. Oops, that chat. Go away. Okay, I can do the rest.
I like
no.
the judgmental face on the left.
Keep
Judging
selecting
the other souls.
1 pixel. Some of these are just angry.
This one's judging all of the other ones.
One little smiley face.
Aww. That's a face.
Here's the question: do I do the same thing at the bottom?
Just
I mean, you
do
could just
one big
copy what you have at the
judgmental
top
face,
and then.
dude. I
That-
like judge.
Regimental face. They're doing it for themselves. Or circular. I quite like that. Oh, chat. You don't have to press enter to accept a transformation. Okay, I like the idea that it's sort of.
Some are upside down.
That it's sort of concentric around the central face, as it were.
I was thinking there's no gravity in. What was this bad part of hell?
This is
Tartarus.
Tartarus.
Tartarus. I just
And
keep.
there's at least some gravity in hell, in this particular part of hell, because there is at least one person that we know who got sent to Tartarus who is continuously pushing a boulder up a hill and then it just falls down the hill.
Aww.
Yes.
Yeah, don't feel too bad for him. He was a bit of a jerk.
Isaac Newton.
Weren't all Greek gods and such big jerks?
I like old gods and mythology because a lot of people are just petty, and I feel like that makes more sense. So you look at the world and you're like, I can believe in a god that's petty.
Yeah.
I can believe in people who look at Earth and like, I'm just gonna screw these people over. Why not?
I mean, have you played The Sims?
Yeah, exactly. Gods in our image. This is not
And
entertaining.
Yes, Boldy is very much an MVP of Hades, but that doesn't change the fact that the original myth of Sisyphus is like, oh no. Like, even before you get to the part where he decides to tie up death in his own chains to avoid himself dying or anyone else dying, he was not a good dude.
I mean, to avoid anyone dying is understandable. That's a pretty bold feat.
But that's not really why he was doing it. He's just like, I don't want to die, so I'm gonna make it so that death is now locked up in my closet.
He was lured in there with a promise of a nice sandwich. Ooh.
I imagine Death's door, Death. Just hanging out in the closet.
Actually, that was the story of spoilers. Story of Death's Door, wasn't it?
Kinda.
Oh, I got
Someone
tricked into
didn't
going
want
into
to die
this.
and they They just locked death in a closet.
Yeah.
A very big closet.
What I would
Chris?
actually... Yeah,
You're shading.
just a little bit. Get some shiny crystals going on. Don't worry about it. It's fine. There's only 3 of us today. We can take time.
Yeah. You might finish on time today.
Nah, where's the fun in that? We'll go around 3 times.
Oh, it was hard finding enough Lord of the Rings characters with images actually.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
There were some dope deviant illustrations though.
So maybe you didn't actually look that moody. Maybe that's just what the DeviantArt person thought they should
Yeah,
look
that
like.
sounds about right.
And then I was going to have some sort of strange scribbles or weird, I presume Greek writing there, but I don't really know, other than my experience in the world of maths. Don't know a lot of Greek. Just write down. I'll write some Laurent polynomials for our friend. I can't remember what Laurent polynomials are. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, there's
I have no idea what you said. So
whatever this was, the Wailing Stone. What was it called? Doomstone. That's what it was. Doomstone. Draw a crowd of people. Lots of anatomy.
like soulstone, something like that.
It's all Greek to you. Oh no, we can't hear Ragdoll. No. Oh no! We did have technical difficulties just before the stream, so...
One person did.
Speaking of technical difficulties, my bot stopped. That's fun. Oh, it's all going well today. It's fantastic times. In the meantime, while Ragdoll's sorting out audio there, we can have a look at this Soulstone friend. Up.
Very cool.
Yeah, much simpler than mine, must be said. Much more. It's much more appropriate for the game design process. Like if I were to submit this as concept art to some people making a game, they would immediately tell me to just there would be heated language.
So you say that, Chris, but this boss fight is actually one of the ones that gets a little crazy. So you see how you've got the big crystal there in the middle and some of the little ones floating around?
Mm-hmm.
Basically what happens in this boss fight is you have the big crystal, which is the mini boss, and the little crystals will break off of it, and lasers will connect them all around the room. So it's just this like reflecting crystal beam, like these laser beams just bouncing all around the room off these little crystals floating around. And yeah, it's a time.
You've never seen the enemies up close, and you're realizing you misunderstood their design. I do that all the time in games. So you got this tiny little sprite on the screen. You're like, oh, that looks cute, and then you look at it close up, and it's like, that's not where I thought the face was.
That's a lot of Pokemon to me.
Yeah. I mean, I had that experience.
That's why I keep references to Pokemon today.
Yeah, that's fine. Pokemon should be referenced.
There's a lot of things to reference.
Thing is, I had a similar thing with Pokemon, but that's just because the Gen 1 designs look nothing like the current ones. You look at Pidgey in the Pokemon Red. Looks nothing like you'd expect. Oh, there we go.
Some of them, an improvement because some of the sprites make no goddamn sense.
Happens all the time in Hearthstone. I can't say, in my brief time playing Hearthstone or watching other people play it, I can't say I've paid much attention to the art, which feels a bit bad, honestly, the amount of work put into them. But yeah, there we are. Who was next? Ragdoll. You have a Ring of a Lord. Also, the bot's working now. Yay! Turn it off and on again.
You have the Dunlendings.
Dundling.
Dunlings,
And
also known as the Wild Men of Dunland, were the people of the plains of Dunland. They were known as a fierce culture of men and sought vengeance of the people of Rohan, who had driven them into the mountains. During the War of the Ring, the wizard Saruman used their anger to manipulate and convince them to pillage the land of Rohan. They are minimalistic, clothed, tanned, barbaric, and bitter in distinctions.
When you said when you said minimalistic, I thought of like the officers on the Death Star in Star Wars, that kind of like monochrome, flat, sort of crisp, clean outfit.
Yeah.
I think they mean
Maybe.
they don't wear a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering they keep describing it as barbarian.
Yeah. Got a bit of a...
And yeah, so I don't know if either of you noticed, but I did poke it. So I'm back on using Discord on the laptop again, because apparently my phone decided to make it so that I couldn't hear you and you couldn't hear me.
Lovely.
Even though I hadn't muted anything.
Wonderful.
Great.
Technology.
It works.
figure.
Sometimes.
Yep.
No, it's Chibi.
Hi, Chibi.
Hello.
Okay, so let's see.
I drew a cat.
I'm drawing a barbarian. Yes, you have cats. A cat was drawn in your honor.
Long cat.
I guess I'll show my cats as well.
Yeah.
Cats.
My cats.
Bottle cat.
Puddle cat's becoming a staple.
Okay, let's see. I've got barbarian, dude, pillaging, because that's what barbarians do. They pillage.
Yeah. Don't forget that they're bitter.
Must be said,
They can be holding a lemon.
A sour. They're probably also sour, to be fair. They're holding a lemon and some broccoli.
Broccoli?
Broccoli's bitter, right? Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are more bitter. Okay, coffee. They got a cup of coffee. I don't like bitter things. I don't know why people eat or drink things that are bitter. Weird. Literally our body going, this might be poisonous. Be careful.
Don't really either.
Yeah, from the name, these people do sound a little bit like sort of Tolkien's version of angry Scots. As they tend to appear, barbarians tend to appear vaguely sort of...
They do seem like just angry Norse people of...
Norse people. That makes sense.
Like, year 1000.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
How are the good people? Christi and Ragdoll are fine.
Aww.
Do you get it?
How was Meat Space meetings?
Meat Space 5000.
We're back to Red Dwarf.
I don't think there is a Meat Space in Red Dwarf. I haven't read the novels. Call yourself good. You already answered. I didn't include you because you'd already answered. Also, I don't feel comfortable speaking on behalf of Laurent. That's...
The Dunlendings Dunlendings really looks like Danish history documentaries. Quite spot on, honestly. That probably doesn't help, but that's what they look like.
Now,
Yes, hugs for
I
Jibby.
guess we're going for stereotypical Viking type thing.
Mhm.
Gonna give him,
No stupid hats, though.
yeah, no stupid. Those are only done by people who don't know much about what's going on there.
Yeah, all fans of opera.
Jibby did a very good job. It was a good time. Seamless experience. The only time it wasn't a seamless experience is when, you know, the rules were unclear because the book's bad. Or when my character fell over. Other than that,
Damage by faceplant.
it's first damage in the game. First point of damage in the game is my character tripping over his own feet.
Which is just the perfect character to do that. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Of all of us, I just like how like your character was introduced as the one who was like, you know, unassuming. You wouldn't notice that they're there. Sort of stays back, and yet you were far more sociable than my character. You did a lot more talking with people.
The thing is,
I mean, both can be true.
just clever.
Both can be true. You can have a character who's a person who's fairly sociable and yet sometimes just doesn't get noticed. That's happened to me a lot. So I don't know if you noticed, but when I start talking, I talk a lot. But also there have been multiple times when I've just sort of walked into a room and someone turned around and went, "Wait, when did you get there?" And I surprised them, apparently.
Yeah, I get that. I get that too.
But it apparently mostly happens when I'm not trying to be. Like, it's not like I'm trying to sneak up on them. It just happens.
I'm sorry, I'm seeing this as a frying pan. And it's very funny.
They've got to cook
it might be.
cooking the bitterness out of the vegetables.
It's because they're only wearing an apron. You gotta get mad in the kitchen if you're only wearing an apron.
But they're not even wearing a top part. It's just groin apron. They're gonna get hot fat all over the chest. It's gonna be terrible.
I mean, my apron is just a square from the what's it called? String band.
We'll give them a full apron.
Christi, your mic's getting a bit scratchy.
Oh.
Let's say this part's just like a bunch of little pockets.
Just so you know. Gotta keep the utensils somewhere.
Some stuff sticking out of here.
Did that help?
So far, yeah.
Yay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
I'm just sorry.
I mean, of all the things to interrupt for, interrupting to say, "Hey, your mic is screwing up and is making it hard to hear," is a good reason to interrupt.
Like saying someone has something stuck in their tooth.
Yeah, now I'm just thinking of Tori.
Oh no, the teeth.
Somebody drew fan art of John J. Johnson Jr. Marvelous. Did they get the tittleneck right?
He's very angry because he came into the kitchen and interrupted him.
Yeah. Oh, that's why the lemon, because they're in the kitchen.
They're sour and bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter, sour. They're also umami. No one knows what that means, but they are.
I think I've learned that umami just means shit tastes good.
it's savory, isn't it? It's a sodium thing.
Yeah. It's a savory thing.
Which I think is fine.
I think it's more of a roasted mushroom.
Yeah, mushrooms have it quite.
Like that.
Yeah. It's often called
But that's
mushroom meat.
not salty.
I don't know why that one is like its own thing.
No.
Because like sweet developed for the purposes of, this thing's got energy in it. Great. Bitterness was largely to avoid things that were bad for us. But yeah, I don't really know what the point of umami is.
Again, shit tastes good.
It tastes nice.
Well, I mean, with some of the things, because umami is also a thing that pops up in a lot of meat flavor, and protein is another thing that we use for energy. It just takes longer to process than simpler sugars.
Yeah, and also you need protein for all other bits and bobs, growth and such, maintenance of bones and things. Well, that's calcium as well. It's good for the protein's good. Muscles and such. And you can buy my course on nutrition and biology for only $7.99.
If you call this number on the screen now. I'm just sitting considering to buy a new headset or microphone or something. That's why I'm a bit quiet. Sorry. Is that an eye? Oh, it's a lemon. I was just thinking if you got an eye on the chest, that would be really scary.
It's supposed to be a little lemon.
What wikis are we drawing from?
I realize I've drawn his hand in such a way that it's going to be hard to draw a lemon.
We have Christi has the Lord of the Rings wiki, Ragdoll has Hades, and I have Red Dwarf.
This right here is the Lord of the Rings race.
Yeah, it's not a person. So draw an entire race, Ragdoll. Off you go.
Well, let's see. We need a track, and then we need a bunch of little runners.
This was the prototype. Before the egg and spoon race, they had the lemon and saucepan race.
They lost the lemon. No.
We need a finish line. Flags on it. There we go.
Great. I'm actually gonna.
Is this the uwu race?
He totally just dropped his lemon out of the pan.
This is nonsense. I was given a slippery pan.
You interrupted him in the middle of making some sort of lemon sauce, and he's angry now.
That's the thing, I don't get lemon sauce for foods, like not ice cream or something.
I've never really had
it. I've seen it as like used as like a glaze on like chicken and whatnot.
Yeah, like no.
Yeah, no.
No lemon on my savory things, please.
I mean, you don't usually put like a lot of sugar, because there's a difference between like lemon in sweets and lemon in like other like more savory cooking. I mean, like, yeah, I'm not going to look for the lemon taste that you get from like lemon meringue pie on my chicken. That's odd.
I did actually try that once with a kind of like I was trying out new recipes and I had this sort of like cheese and lemon salmon potato thing and it was bloody awful. So
Sounds cool.
But I mean, citrus flavor and citrus in general isn't that bad on meat. Citrus is an acid, so at the very least, it helps like break down stuff, make it more tender.
Yeah, it's good in seafood, I guess.
C for citrus. So what do we have images of these peoples?
Yes.
The people of Dunfermline or whatever it was?
Actually from the movie.
Oh, my word.
Which I didn't know they were a separate race at all. But they are.
Look at
Well, I
them.
mean, when everyone is just sort of played by brown-haired human actors.
Yeah, largely white. Brown haired, white.
They've got a lot of sticks.
A lot of sticks, a lot of torches. Pointed stick.
Yeah, it looks like a Norse documentary, except for the fantasy guy in the middle.
Oh, one of them's got an axe.
Oh
Dangerous times. 2 axe. Pitchfork.
wow, I see some pointy things.
Oh, no, it's much more dangerous.
It's
I don't-
Iron Age.
Don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
That's
just
a
don't run.
documentary with Mads Mikkelsen's brother. Iron Age in Denmark.
Happy's Mikkelsen.
What?
Sorry, you just said Mads Mikkelsen's brother, and the first thing that popped into my mind was Happy's Mikkelsen. It's like the opposite of Mads.
Oh.
I never said my humor was funny.
Joke.
No, funny.
Funny joke. You can talk, miss. I heard it. You have a lovely voice. Marvelous. And Christi. Christi. Do you want? Yeah, it is from me. Yeah. Would you like a character or an enemy?
Enemy.
Enemy. That's a spaceship. I'm not going to give you that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Enemies. Oh, I've already named this one. We're getting all the new ones.
Oh.
I have already mentioned this, and this is. Boy, this is one. You get Asclepius. Asclepius is a very advanced medibot created in the late 23rd century, programmed to perform all sorts of surgical procedures. Named after the Greek god of medicine. And basically, over the course of the last 3 million years, gone a bit mad. So yeah, mad surgery robot. One of the creepiest things, I think, in Red Dwarf. But its design is actually pretty cool.
Oh, I'm doing silly.
Go for it. Another robot in this episode has a wonderfully silly design, so feel free to Snacky the snack droid.
Oh, I can't do it that way. That has to be up here.
Such a weird design. Great.
Little syringe, or maybe not so little.
Not little new.
Trophy and Game Grumps, you found your people. They're a bunch of nerds. Absolutely.
I do love a good Yoda joke.
To be fair, on my behalf, it has been a while since I've watched either. One day I will return and actually watch something at all. Full stop. What else can I say about Asclepius? Not a lot really. It's just really creepy. He fires tranquilizer darts to knock people out so that the surgery can happen, whether they wanted the surgery or not.
So that's what the syringe does.
One day I watch something that's not from the 60s. I'm branching out to the 70s.
He's also branching back to the 50s.
True. Why limit yourself to one direction, you know?
I know that one. That's a popular thing.
Look at this. I mean, to be fair, if this thing was running towards me, I would also describe it as quite creepy. But trying to find a good picture of it. I'm trying to find a good representative picture of it. I think I got some good pictures of the costume, but not. Gotta have the full pose, full intimidating pose. Why is there a hand in there? How did that get in there? Look like a ship in a bottle.
Source them for I was gonna say amputation. The other thing.
Reattachment.
Yes.
They just built the syringe thing around the hand.
Yes, I know what a heart looks like. Shut up. It's a peach.
It's a peach with little dangly things coming off it. It's fine. Perhaps in 40 years you'll consume content from the 2020s. Maybe?
I know. That's what attached to the arm.
I mean, if I'm doing the 60s now, it would be 60 years. And I'd only be watching things from the 20s so that I can complain that things were better in my day. Back in my day, we had good music like
Toxic by Britney Spears.
I was trying to think of a modern artist, I couldn't think of one.
Well, I don't know if Britney is modern.
No, well, yeah, modern in the sense of like, you know, she's not Beethoven.
Ah.
Modern music.
Little Nas
But,
X.
Yeah.
He's making stuff currently.
Is it pronounced Nas? Again, this is a world I'm separate from. I'm kind of pleased I got Asclepius. Because it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, what series is this from? This series 11. I think Hoagie was from series 11 as well. Come on, there are like 13 series we could pick from. Both got 2 things from series 11. I also like how on the wiki they've separated the categories from series 1 to 6 and series 7 to 13. And that's a good rough split in half, because some of the series, the modern series, are just like 3-episode specials and things. But also it's because the general consensus is from series 7 onwards, it was nowhere near as good as the ones before. So they're like, this was the good part, and this is the not good part.
Yeah, that happens sometimes if something exists for long enough.
Well, it kind of went. It started off a bit crap because of low budget. They didn't quite know how to write it, so on and so forth. The sets were awful. But then it got better. Series 3 to 6 were really, really good. Then series 7, one of the writers left from a 2-writer team, and so took a bit of finding the feet again. And then it had a hiatus of about 20 years, and then it came back and it was really good. Silly old man trying to make music while deaf. Imagine that. While his hearing was seriously impaired. I love some of the silly, because they tried to make their own little sci-fi world in Red Dwarf, and like they had little rules of like no aliens. You know, I know we're set in a sitcom in deep space, but no aliens. And they tried to come up with all their own terminology. So they don't use the word robot, they use the word droid, and mechanoid and things like that. But I forgot about this. I'm reading the synopsis for this episode. The weapons that they use are called bazookoids. It's like, what a silly word.
That is a very silly word.
Fire the bazookoid.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm
I'm
sure Red Dwarf didn't know what it was doing with the design either.
In this case, I actually do know that they did know what they were doing. This was one of the few series that they had a dedicated like costume and prosthetic person who got to design things before making them. And she fell in love with this design. She's like,
Well,
oh, this was my favorite.
I think no one's in love with this design. Please.
This is like, again, this is horrifying in its own way. You can absolutely make some sort of surrealist horror film with something that looks like this.
Sure.
Not as bad as the names of the guns in Bugsy Malone. There was a Western episode of Red Dwarf that won an Emmy.
That's a lot of genres.
Splurge Gun. Yes, I remember that. Splurge Gun. I mean, to be fair, I said as a Western episode, it all happened in VR. They predicted the Oculus Rift. This was from the 90s. It looks just like the Oculus Rift. It's just got lights on the front. Anyway. Look at this Asclepius. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare all of its own doing. And to complement it, here is another nightmare.
Oh god. That's cool.
That is a face. I'm not a fan of that face. I mean, it's doing an effective job. That's why I'm not a fan of it.
It's doing an effective job. I must say, until I saw this, I actually didn't even notice the red eyes. I just thought it had like a visor on the front of it. It's like a forward facing, because the eyes are quite low if you sort of look at it from a front view.
I don't understand why it has a FNAF face, but I do love the screen chest. Oh goodness.
It's like the Red Dwarf definitely has its sort of horror moments, which is weird for a comedy. But yeah, this one was one of the creepier ones, but at the same time, still funny.
I mean, the face is funny.
Yeah, that's Asclepius.
I like that I didn't think of what's that called? The shirt dress thingy. The white, what's that called?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It has a name in Danish. I don't know if it
Oh.
has one in English, but the medical garb thing. I didn't think of that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Surgeon gown, medical gown, something like that.
Here we'd call it scrubs,
Oh yeah, scrubs.
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's called the same thing over there.
It probably is since
The medical gown. Yeah, in the United States we'd call that scrub.
Yeah, since the popularity of the sitcom, it probably is also called that over here now. But a good name. Right. I would say that we should do one of all going together, but honestly, we've got time to do another round probably.
Yeah. Let's do
All right.
Do another round.
So who did? I mean, we've all done one from each of the others, so I guess question of who what do people want to double up on?
Yeah. I guess we could just do what we did the first time.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I don't know. Or we could all generate one for ourselves, which ruins the point.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going first, and I'm going to draw a Lord of the Ring.
You got the best name in the world.
Ooh.
Gorbag.
Golbeck?
Gorbag. Gorbag.
Gorbag.
Was an intelligent and crafty orc captain of Cirith Ungol during the Third Age, originally from Minas Morgul. It had a description somewhere. Oh, God, there's so much. Oh my god. Gorbag is in Lego. Lego Gorbag.
Lego bag.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I can't honestly remember what the orcs in Lord of the Rings look like. I'm not entirely sure. Lord of the Rings might be another one of those franchises like Star Wars and Harry Potter where I've never actually seen a whole film, but I have seen bits.
And also, I think I might have just chosen this one because of the name.
It's a good name.
It's a very good name, yes.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else
And
you can say
yes,
about?
Chibi's right. Orc faces are mostly just sort of gross potatoes.
That works
Yeah.
fantastically for what I'm trying to do. Wonderful. Let's go with it. Do they have noses? I'll do.
Yeah. They have all the bits.
Who knows?
This boy does. Oh, he happy. This is a World of Warcraft. Aww.
Smile. Oh, big hat.
No, I like this one. potato. Oh,
Got a potato sack on his head. That's the bag part.
perfect.
What's the gore part?
Ingredients that he cooks mostly. Like
so you're
offal.
not gonna draw a head impaled in the ground.
Meat's back on the menu. That's a thing. Is this going to be another stream where we quote Lord of the Rings? How many streams have we done?
Not?
How do you do the thing with the fingers? You know, drawing them. How do you do that?
I was just studying what you were doing with the hand, and I can't describe. I know how he's going, like, I'm doing it with my hands. He's a clever potato sack.
You said he was intelligent and scheming, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that's not how he is, but I don't know how fingers work. It's fine. Do not have time to adjust.
Scheming fingers work as scheming fingers does.
Close enough. He's also wearing sackcloth for clothing. It's very itchy.
Was from the baked potatoes.
Potato.
Potato.
Go tap. I would have loved it if it were potats in that world.
Potats.
Or the Danish word kartofler.
Kartoffler.
That's a beautiful word.
Ooh. This
Not
hand.
sarcasm at all.
You said that orc faces are just horrible messes. I'm gonna take that as also applying to the hands. Because I can't seem to get it to do anything else.
Well, the face is cute, so you failed that.
All of my characters have goatees, including the screaming rock.
Did it?
I'm not sure what's going on with the lower half here.
Well, the potato sack wasn't big enough.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work out what else to do that isn't against Twitch terms of service.
Loincloth.
Do you guys do sack races over there?
Yeah.
Just have them be just standing in a sack like you would be in a sack race.
Aww. Oh, it looks like he has his trousers down.
Yeah, I did think that.
It's because you can still see his feet.
There you go. So he's wearing trousers as the seam. It's fine.
He's twice covered up. It's anti to his problems.
I feel like it's not traditional in a sack race to get naked inside the sack. Like, maybe that was just, maybe I was misinterpreting the rules or something, but...
I don't know orc traditions. It really looks like he's sitting scheming on the toilet. I love that.
It might also be on the toilet. Like, these things are not, words.
He was in the middle of a sack race when he had to go.
While he was on there, he realised how he could possibly cheat and win this race.
Yes, smart potato.
Have all your best ideas on the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to think of the word that I wanted to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just thought I'd
No.
say something.
It's not exactly like riveting streaming entertainment for me to sit here going, "What's the word? What's? Oh, I know it. I think it begins with an I."
I mean, I stand around and go, I can't remember what word I'm looking for all the time, and that's
Yeah, but-
usually dealing with subjects where it's like I'm teaching this stuff and I have forgotten the word that I need.
Yeah, but you need it, and B, you're not broadcasting it. So
Well, there's that.
you might be narrowcasting it, depending on modern lecturing techniques. But
Narrowcasting. Wow. Genius.
well, it's just casting to a limited audience.
I'd much prefer spell casting.
Yay. But do narrowcast spellcasters, because otherwise you may get into trouble.
And we shade in the potato sack, because
Ver-
of course.
very
Yep.
quick coloring the sack. What? There was nothing wrong with what I just said.
Oh dear.
Du-du-du-du-du.
Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
And there we go. That's roughly.
Sorry, but now it really looks like naked knees.
Do your legs have seams? I mean, I don't want to judge.
Yeah.
It's fine, but
I
okay.
mean,
hang on,
maybe.
hang on.
You never know.
But I like them on the toilet.
There you go. Hairy legs poking through some tears. There we are. Gore bag.
Go back.
Gore bag.
And
In Dutch, it's aardappels. Eaten exclusively by aardvarks and aardwolves. Dib-a-dib-dib-dib. It looks like an orc.
yep, not cute at all.
Dib-a-dib-dib.
Also, all orcs in the movie has like blind eyes.
Oh.
I just realized.
They go by smell.
Probably.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Also potatoes. And I got some radishes as well. We got variety, is what I'm saying.
Potato radish stew. Yum.
Ard, coming from ard, meaning earth, ground, dirt. Yeah. I think, yeah, in French, potatoes are called apples of the earth. Pomme de terre.
Oh yeah.
Which is less catchy than ard apple. But, you know, they want it to be fancy. Same in Dutch, you just made it one word. Yeah, they just made it simple. Rather than going of blank of the blank. You decided to put, you know, descriptor noun. You know. Then again, Lord of the Rings would have been slightly less impressive sounding if it was just called Ringlord. So took that little technique from the Germans. Good for you. Righto. Boom. Fantastic. Excellent. Ragdoll.
Yes.
You can have a Red Dwarf. Would you like an enemy or a character? We've done enemies so far.
Let's go for another enemy.
Another enemy. What? Let's have one with a picture. Be nice. Do 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 do. Evidently a bit of hit and miss this one. Gotta try a few. I should do what Christi does. And no, I'm not having you draw Hitler.
Oh my.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of episodes actually. One about psychopaths, one about waxworks. Okay, sure. You have Hildegard Landstrom. Hildegard Landstrom was a scientist. She was German, if that helps. Incredibly intelligent. And as a consequence, after she died, she was kept back as a hologram. People can just continue being after they've died as a hologram in this world. Unfortunately, much like everything else in Red Dwarf, she was left on her own for a long time. And not only went mad, but also developed a computer virus, I guess? So yeah, corrupted hologram. That's probably...
Well, I mean, then I could just sort of draw some squiggles.
Squiggles!
Yeah, there's the hologram. It's busted.
Squares.
She can shoot lasers from her eyes, if that helps.
Oh my. What kind of hologram is this?
So this hologram does exist in the physical world.
I mean, lasers are just light. The holograms are made of light. Although in this world you do have soft light and hard light.
Great.
Which is a wonderful... It took them... Was it 5 series for them to come up with hard light? Because before that, all the holograms just couldn't touch anything. They were like, no, we'll come up with something. We want this actor to be able to use props. Let's invent hard light. Lord of the Rings in Dutch is called In de Baan van de Ring, which means something like enthralled under the influence of the ring. Ooh, nice.
That sounds dope.
No lord. It's more descriptive. Must be said. Like the story is about the influence of the ring. It's not about a lord, I guess. Well, I suppose Sauron is kind of. But the story's not about Sauron, is it?
I mean, the main lord of the story is our good old King of Kings, who's been spending most of his time as a ranger.
And he's got bugger all to do with the ring at all. He's just got his own story going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically it's sort of connected, because, like, one of his ancestors is part of the reason why the ring didn't get destroyed earlier, because he decided to, like, keep it or something. Look, I was there, Gandalf. Alright, so we got a little...
Oh my god, that's exactly how I was gonna draw it in my head.
Like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Except it's coming from the floor. And also it's an evil person gone mad shooting laser beams.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was the iRobot hologram, but I guess it's the Star Wars hologram.
I mean, there's only so many ways you could do holograms.
Yeah.
I'm mainly saying Star Wars because that's where because you had R2D2 like projecting out the hologram, Princess Leia.
Do you think 2 R2D2s in one stream?
Yeah, one with a significantly less detail.
Oh, just as another random side, which is one of my favourite. I don't even think you can call it sci-fi. It's just kind of nonsense idea, but I like it. From this episode is that this scientist, Dr. Landstrom, invented positive viruses. One of them, I believe, was called Felicitas Populi, or luck. And so she just invented a virus that just makes you lucky.
Felicia's... What's the name of the liquid luck in Harry Potter?
I don't know.
Felicia's something.
Well,
I
Felicitas
was gonna make a
is-
reference, but my mind went blank.
That's okay. I don't remember what it's called either.
Yeah, Felicitas is like, good fortune, as it were. Felix. Similar thing.
So
Just remember how
fun.
he says it.
So fun story, Chib, talking about translations of names. J.R. Tolkien was a nerd, huge linguist nerd.
Nerd.
And I don't know if it's explicitly said anywhere in the Lord of the Rings book, but I know at least in The Hobbit, it's presented as this is someone's attempt at making an English translation of an old story that was written in another language, and we're just translating these names as best as possible. So Frodo's name is not Frodo in the original quote unquote language, and same with most of the other characters. And it's like, oh, God, linguists.
It was
You
like
don't have anything else to do.
it
So
was
you're
like
just
a
gonna
bunch.
make up your own language.
Sorry, it was like a bunch of local myths and stories he like grabbed together for something, right?
Yeah, it's presented as a hey, here are these old stories written from this other language that's been translated to the best of our ability in English. And actually, also that was used a little later on down the line because the original Hobbit had some key differences from the Hobbit as it is now. Because he wrote the Hobbit first, and then wrote Lord of the Rings, and had to like retcon some things, especially with Gollum and how that whole event went down. And that's actually referenced in the story itself. In Lord of the Rings, it's like, oh, that's not how it actually went down. So, like, the original version of The Hobbit is what Frodo wrote. But the current version of The Hobbit that you get in stores is like the actual events that. And it's like, nerd, yeah, nerd.
Nerd. I would just like to point out, Felix Felicis is just very funny to me because it's like lucky luck, lucky luck.
I mean,
Lucky Luke.
Luck.
There's a bear whose scientific name is just Bear.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. But it's two different. Isn't what the Greek and the Latin? They just took both of them and stuck it together. Oh, Ursus Arctos, is it? Polar bear, I think, because Arctos also means the Arctic means the place of the bear. Random things I might know.
So the Arctic pole is the bear pole.
Oh, it's the brown
bear.
bear.
The Arctic Circle is the circle with bears. The Antarctic Circle is the circle without bears.
He's got ants.
Whoa.
But no, it's the brown bear that's Ursus Arctos. Which just goes to show that it's got more to do with bear than the Arctic. See? Even I made the mistake. Here I am saying that people make this mistake. And I made the mistake. Oh.
How do people remember interesting things? And
I watched the same episode of QI
words
25 times. What is the Latin name for the polar bear? Not the plor bear. Polar bear.
The plural bear is several bears.
Yes, bears is the word you're looking for. Ursus maritimus. Because it swims.
Marine bear.
Yeah. Sea bear.
Aww.
Will be soon.
Sea bear. If you make another line, that's Pinocchio.
Meant this to be like a laser beam shooting out.
There's Hex Vision, I believe it was in the thing. This
So
character was
close
also
to being a nose if you just let it.
this character's name is
like that.
Dr. Landstrom. was Dr. Landstrom, also known as Dr. Landstrom, also known as Dr. Fruit Loop.
Dr. Fruit Loop.
He's gone
That's an
Fruit Loop.
interesting name. I like how you said that right when I started doing like little circles.
Yeah. You're going the proper Star Wars treatment. I will warn you, it's not a fantastic picture. This is obviously low quality TV camera, studio film, but there's a couple of pictures here. She's also just woken up from some sort of cryogenic stasis. Not sure how that works with a hologram, but there we are. So she's a bit
Cold light.
icy.
So there's soft light, hard light, and cold light.
Well, the hard light can presumably get cold if it can interact with particles as though it were physical. It could theoretically get cold.
Do I want to
Again,
give her a rat?
This is a sitcom. Don't think too much about it.
I can't think too much about it because I don't know enough about physics anyway.
I'm pretty sure the sitcom writers also don't know that much about physics anyway, so don't worry about it.
You've gone to the Efteling? I don't know what that is. What is that? Enlighten us. You like talking about it. Let us know. I don't know. Let me know. I'm not going to talk on behalf of anyone else.
Ooh. So
Ah.
far, it's the the KFC bucket turning into cards.
Yeah, it's got a bit of that vibe.
If someone else got this drawing.
Yeah, we use this on Gartic phone. I will say it's a bit of a shame we got the last enemy in this we got was a person, because there's some weird stuff in this series. You could have
that's
had
sort of why I was going for enemies, because it's like maybe I'll get something weird, and it's like that's just a hologram lady.
Yeah, you could have had the curry monster. That would have been fun. The mutton vindaloo beast.
Making dishes into
Very fun.
like I won't say people, but living things is very funny.
Yeah, it's literally they have a machine that can manipulate DNA, and they try it out on a curry, and it turns into a monster. That's great.
Oh,
I'm now reminded of the
turned into a
Fighting
monster.
Futons anime. I don't know if anyone ever saw that in like mid 2000s, early 2000s.
I haven't seen anything.
That doesn't surprise me.
What was it? Eons?
Fighting Futons. Basically,
I've seen it at Dwarfy.
It's an anime where they take like these. I think that I remember it being like cards that had magic in them, and they like put the card on the like food, and then the food becomes a sentient monster thing that they use for fighting. And depending on the quality of the food, affects the quality of the monster.
Oh, I didn't know that was a factor.
Yeah, like a lot of the main characters are like, oh, we're gonna be like great chefs who can like get good ingredients to make good foodons. I think there was an overarching plot with like a bad guy, but I honestly don't remember any of that. I mostly just remember the fact that there was a fried rice creature that was essentially a man with a plate of fried rice for a head and attacked using rice spoons.
The concept could have been with making the right ingredients to make the best monster, could have been a real fun food warsy type anime.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that they can fail, because one of the other common ones is one of the other creatures of them that pops up a lot is one of the main characters. For the first couple of times he tried to make a food on, ended up just making burnt meatballs. And it's just these little black balls with eyes floating around that can't do much because they're burnt meatballs.
Aww.
Oh.
All right, so here's my mad science lady.
Yeah.
being beamed up from the floor.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm sure she's actually just a person.
If we ever go to the Netherlands, we're going to be dragged to the Efteling, because apparently it's great. Fairy tale theme park.
I would love to go to.
I think you might have shown us pictures before. It definitely rings a bell. Anyway, here is low quality image of crazy science hologram waking up and zapping you with eyes.
That's great.
Low budget sci-fi. It's great. Yeah.
They were slobbering when they got cold.
Yeah, it's part of the lunacy, I guess. Part of the whole being, going mad over 3 million years. Have beautiful eyes.
It's got the cat eyes again.
Also, again, like I've been watching this sitcom since I was a kid, so you don't really think about these things if you're that used to it. But yeah, just the cheapness of demonstrating that somebody is a hologram by sticking a letter H on their forehead is something that's very funny now.
That's what that is.
All the holograms just have an H on their forehead.
Great.
I mean, I know when there's with plays and ballets and whatnot, they use a lot of visual shorthand to represent various things because you're on a stage. There's only so much you can do. But that's a very strange visual shorthand.
Why is she so slobbery?
This is why I decided to emphasize the whole sort of frozen sort of thing. I think there's supposed to be like some sort of frozen liquid.
Yeah.
Why would they need to freeze her in liquid though? She's a hologram.
I don't know.
Holograms are water.
She might have done that to herself.
She tried to calm down, so she splashed her face with freezing water.
Also, this was like a base on a freezing planet as well, so it's just cold there. It's just really cold.
Don't splash your face with water if you live somewhere freezing.
Yeah, not good. Particularly if you have a beard. It gets painful. Thought you're gonna have to shoot out because you're very tired. Have a wonderful sleep or whatever you're gonna do.
Bye.
Bye. Glad you had a good time. Yeah, this is a shame we could have got, the Mutton Vindaloo Beast or the Despair Squid. That would have been fun. Some other time, perhaps. But for now, we move on to Christie's final drawing.
Yay.
Which is Anne Hades.
And Hades, please.
Oh. Yeah, you get my a common enemy that is so disliked that there's an actual item in the game that will help you avoid these things. It's called a flame wheel.
Oh.
And the codex entry reads thusly: the chariot is a famous symbol of warfare and technology of my mortal days. Note that the codex entries are written by Achilles, so that's what's going on here. However, its specific role in battle sometimes is exaggerated. Chariots ushered men like me to the front lines. They themselves were seldom the ones to go crashing through enemy ranks, though there were indeed exceptions. More than once I witnessed some particularly brave or bloodthirsty soul abandon his expected duties at the helm of his vessel and crash explosively into enemy ranks, like the stories tell. This led to death, of course, but dying valorously and spectacularly sometimes is sufficient to secure an all-too decent spot within the afterlife. So this is an enemy in Elysium. And Elysium is essentially the Hall of Heroes. So the only ones who get in there are, well, people who did heroic deeds and whatnot. And Flame Wheel is, as it says on the tin, it's a chariot that is on fire. It runs at you, and then it explodes in your face.
Runs?
Well, I say runs, it's got wheels, but it very quickly makes its way towards you.
Okay.
It chases after you, and when it gets close, it explodes. Or if it hits something, it explodes. Basically, they explode.
I would have loved to make it have feetsies, though.
You can if you
I
want.
mean, if you want to give it feetsies, I'm not going to stop you.
The first thing that came into my mind when you said flame wheel was just like, well, it's a wheel that's on fire. And then I thought, what a lovely prompt. You have to draw circles and fire. Easy. No problem.
But no, a chariot on fire.
Chariots of fire.
Yes.
However that music goes.
The other, I am going to give you one more detail that's listed here because I find it amusing and cute. So there are 2 chariot enemies in the game. One called a Nemiran chariot, and then the flame wheels. The Nemiran chariots roar at you because there's a lion theme. The flame wheels meow.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yay.
So yeah, it's every time I run into them, it's like, oh no, it's the exploding kittens room. And that is a detail that is on purpose. It's not just a noise that sounds vaguely like meowing. No, that they are supposed to sound like meowing cats.
Why though? Is there an explanation?
Because the big ones are lions, so the little ones are cats.
Oh no.
And this is from the mouth of one of the sound designers of the game. That's what he said. The big chariots are lions, so we made the little chariots cats.
No.
And it's like, thank you, sir.
Thank you indeed.
Bless. Well, at least now I know what cats I'm going to draw for my warm-up next week. Kitten chariot. Yeah.
Exploding kitten chariot.
Started with cats, we end with cats.
I don't know how fire works. I have not really drawn
Well, they
it.
go up in the air and then they go boom.
And they go boom.
And they're all sparklies.
Oh my god, it's cat ears. Yay!
Yay! Fire cat is. See, it works too well.
Yes. Works very well.
And you said you didn't know how to do it. Look at that. Design!
Squiggles!
Squiggles!
I mean, it probably doesn't help that you're also drawing this fire in teal color.
Yeah, blue flame.
Though granted, you can have teal fire, you just have to be burning a certain kind of metal. Because that's how fireworks work.
Does chariot wheels go on the front or the back? I forget.
The front is usually a horse. So I'm going to guess the back.
Yeah.
Because you could theoretically have a chariot with the horses on the back, but it'd be difficult to steer. Actually, would it be? No, it'd be, yeah. I don't know. There's probably a good reason they put the horses in front. That's what I'm saying. If you have to keep up, put up with the fact that, you're right in the line of the horse crap and or farts. There's probably a very good reason for it.
Thank you for making me laugh in a circle.
Fire in circles.
But we got a cat.
I got a cat.
So cats make everything better? Question mark?
Yeah.
Generally. Then they scratch your face because they're hungry at 5 a.m. Which in this case is considerably more of a problem than with my cat. Because my cat's not on fire. I mean, I hope she isn't.
If they're on fire, they can make their own damn food.
You can cook it.
I'm pretty sure your cat also doesn't explode upon contact, so...
As yet untested. She doesn't like being touched, so maybe.
Maybe that's why.
She'll claw your stomach, but don't touch her. She's in charge here.
Making things hard for myself.
I mean, you were given a flaming chariot. I don't think there's... You know.
Are you trying to make it like
Going
oblongy so
zoom.
it's going fast? Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
zoom.
Yeah, sort of smear.
Squish that circle.
It's an egg.
Thank God it's not a Julia egg then. Then it's going real zoom.
Noom.
It's a
Right into your face.
it's a coached egg. That kind of works. That's almost a pun.
Coached egg.
Coaches as a chariot.
Yeah, that works.
Kind of works. Kind of works. I love doing puns where I'm like uncertain of precisely what I'm just saying. Meow.
Yeah.
Noom cat.
Cat chariot.
Noom cat.
Yes. Okay. So this is what they look like in the game.
Oh.
And
That's not how wheels work. But oh.
I mean, it's also
Oh, whoops.
a undead soul.
Yeah.
So
I love the embers.
it can work however it wants to work, and this is the big one.
I totally forgot how chariots work. I drew a bumper car.
I mean, yours looks more comfortable. You're traveling in the
It has
chariot
more
at long
neon
distances.
power.
I mean, these cars are definitely trying to bump you.
Yeah.
And then explode in your face. But yeah, the big chariots roll around and try and run into you and are roaring as they're running around. Little ones are meowing and then exploding in your face.
I see the lion thing.
Yeah, it's dope. They do look like a carnival ride.
Yeah, that would be a neat carnival ride. Have the little lion face in it.
Yeah, especially the top with the pattern. And then like the face and everything. There's a lot of animal faces in old carnival rides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Elysium has sort of a gladiator arena theme to it, and in fact, the boss fight in that area is in a gladiator arena. So there's a lot of spectacle going on, because apparently in Elysium, what these dead heroes do all day is mostly just beat each other up.
Oh, it's Valhalla.
Yeah, essentially.
Greek Valhalla.
Greek equivalent of Valhalla. Just a bunch of heroes beating each other up. And or watching other heroes beat each other up.
That's life. Well,
Can't they get a hobby?
that's so happy.
They can learn chess or something. Well, there we are.
There's some interesting, really interesting and
Yes.
sad and feelsy plot related stuff dealing with who is in Elysium and who isn't. So that's interesting. Yeah. And now we turn on all
Time
the
for
layers.
all layers. That cat
I would
just...
really love to play Hades if I wasn't crap at games.
I will say, so it is a roguelite, and you will be bad at the start. But it in general, it has a very good build with like building up your knowledge and skills with it. But also, the Hades devs decided that they wanted to make it even more accessible. Hades has a God mode for gamers who are not God gamers. In God mode, basically, every time you die, you gain more damage resistance. So that means you will take less damage, and it will be easier to get through a run.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Which is good, because I'm not good at these sorts of games, but it's like, but I want to, and then I can now. So yay, accessibility.
It's a roguelike you played for the story. That's cool. I mean, that's something you got to get right, which is the reason I absolutely hated Sunless Sea. It's because the writing in that game is, I just want to read everything in that game. It's so cool and so good, and the gameplay actively sabotages your fun.
Aww.
I've seen the first half of so many stories in that game, and I will never read the second half. Because I died for reasons I do not understand, and the story disappeared into the randomly generated ether.
That's
Well, the good news about Hades is, yes, stuff will randomly disappear into the randomly generated ethos, but the story is built around the assumption that you will die a lot.
That's fair.
So there are many parts of the story that won't continue unless you die a lot.
Okay.
Now, granted, there are some dialogue options that, depending on how you play, you may never see. But that's just because there are a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. I'm fine with not seeing everything. I'm just I get annoyed at seeing the first half of something and then never seeing the second.
I just have to highlight this buddy who's appeared.
Yeah. Hello. That's the wheels of.
Stepped on.
Can't even remember what it was. Oh, Hoagie.
Well, that's in red. Yeah, that's from the little R2D2.
The wheels of Hoagie with I don't know what it's attached to. Oh, the bottom of the hologram. Yeah,
that's the hologram.
The base of the hologram. So it's like, I'm here now.
And that's my medical robot's leg with.
Yep, it's got a nice shoe coming out.
Elf shoe.
Elf shoe.
It's a nice little corner over here.
And
also,
then we
this
have the chib
in the face.
The chib-colored cat is just viewing this nonsense and having none of it.
Yes, and also being slapped in the face.
Also, it does kind of look like Hildegard over here is now sort of like just has a really big chest and is now wearing a tie.
Yeah,
so she dressed up for the occasion.
Maybe on the phone.
Maybe on the phone. Yeah. She said, don't distract me. I'm doing business. Laser eyes.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Well, that was a stream of appropriately nonsensical fun times. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for
doodling
with and providing ideas for silly doodles. Yeah, we will do this again next Sunday, as is tradition. Well, whether we'll do this or not, we'll do some fun friend things. Super fun. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it. We do a variety of nonsense. In particular, on Tuesday. How do you describe 16 symbols?
Randomly generated friend adventure.
Yeah, we've randomly generated a plot structure for a story we haven't written yet. So we're drawing through that. We're drawing all the characters and all the plot points and trying to work out where the story's going, and then suddenly we get a symbol that says death, and we don't know what to do with it. So we're doing that. We're getting near the end. We're approaching a climax, I think. Did we work out what we're doing with the whole... Does everyone stop moving thing?
Chibi and I discussed a couple of things. I think we're going with option 2 of the 3 options that I laid out of like how this could go as far as the extinction event thing goes. And I think she's right based on the symbols we are currently working with and could work with in the future. Option 2 is probably our best option, which is mini extinction event for the half party that's here.
Yeah.
Full extinction event later. We go to the city and we see that some of the robots are affected, but some of them are not because since it's not turned up to 11 yet, it's only affecting small ranges as they sort of like blast this like little area to get these robots. And then we will find a symbol that we can use to make the rest of it go.
Yeah. We'll make it work. Also, I'm sure none of that made sense to our new friend. And that's exactly how it should be. Yeah. But it's fun. We draw all the characters, we draw things. It's a good time. So do that on Tuesday. Wednesday, Saturday, playing games. I'm starting a new game, I guess. We finished Death's Door. It was very good. I have a couple of ideas for games. So we'll see. Yeah, so 16 symbols on Tuesday. Wednesday, Saturday, games. Sunday, more friend doodle times. Yeah, thank you very much again. Have a wonderful week, everybody. For a new week begins, or has begun, depending on your perspective. Yeah.
Bye.
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 I'm bad at ending things. Goodbye.